bright yellow so that I can spot it easy, right? I've like stood up here looking for my water and it's like right there. I'll see this anywhere. I will see this anywhere.
I kept switching to the first slide for some reason randomly.
Oh, okay. That's okay. The game of life and how to play it. This is based on a Florence Scovel Shinn book of the same name. And I don't know if you've read her, but I highly recommend her. It's a short book, and it will have all the extra points in today's talk that I won't be talking about. So she's really great. She's really great. She starts off her book by saying, people say life is a battlefield. And we've probably said some version of that in our life. We might have said life is hard. Life is a struggle. It's a jungle out there. Right? We have these ideas about how life is. But what's interesting is that Jesus, in all of his teaching, he seemed to recognize that life was hard. He seemed to recognize that life was difficult because his ministry was about living in the here and now with good, about living in the here and now with abundance, right? With our divine good that's all available to us. In fact, he said that he said, I've come that they may have life and have it abundantly, right? Not have life and have enough to get by, right? How many times have you said that, right? I just want enough to get by. And then you get just enough to get by. But see, that wasn't Jesus' plan. Jesus' plan was to have enough to get by and more. Enough to share and spare. So he offered up an abundant life. He offered up an abundant life to whoever would be open to hearing about it. And that's what his entire ministry was based on. Because he taught that by changing our focus, we would change the conditions of our life. And he taught that we are here to remember who we are. He taught that we are to focus on the divinity within us, to get familiar with the indwelling spirit. That was his teaching, to get familiar with the power that is within us. And he performed miracles, and he would tell his disciples, who he was preparing to go out into the world to do the same thing, get more people to teach. He told his disciples, all these things I do, you will do and more. You will do and more. This wasn't supposed to be a secret thing that only Jesus could do. Right? This was for everybody. So in his ministry, he was teaching about how to connect with our indwelling spirit so that life would get better. That ultimately, life was a game. That it was a game of remembering that indwelling spirit and to become more loving. Right? That was part of the game, is to become more loving. So today, I will be talking about 3 rules for the game of life. There are more in Florence's book if you want to read it, but I touched on the ones that I thought were good. Go ahead and give the first one, Kevin. The first rule of life, seek first the kingdom of God. Because he said, when we seek first the kingdom of God, all things will be added to us. So we seek first the kingdom of God. We're just going right in here to ourselves, to our heart, and we're recognizing that God is all things. God is all things. God's everything we see, everything that's ever been, everything that's yet to be. God is everything in the unseen and in the seen. God is every divine idea, divine inspiration. And if God is all that, that means me. Say that with me. That means me. That means me. Right? God is all things. So we're recognizing when we go here, when we seek first the kingdom of God, we are going right here, and we're going through that script in our head. Wow, God is everywhere present. God is all things. God is every situation, event, circumstance, the experience I would like to create in my life. God is all that. That means me. And when we get into that space, we start feeling a big yes, 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 yes. Like the universe is just saying, yes, yes, here, take it all. That's what that feels like. And I know this because this is almost my daily practice every day. And I didn't used to practice this every day. But I practice it a lot now, and I practice it throughout the day, and I will tell you, every single time I do it, it feels like yes, yes, yes. All right, so this is important. The number one rule to get started in the game of life: seek first the kingdom of God. Because when we're in this space, we automatically start drawing our brightest good into our lives. We automatically start including our good. So we seek first the kingdom of God, and then, Kevin, next one, we ask and prepare to receive. You know, I found it in the Bible a couple of times. Jesus is not the only one who said, ask and you shall receive. Paul said it also in a letter. He said, ask and you shall receive, but you haven't asked. That's what he says. And Jesus said this, ask and you shall receive, but so far, you haven't asked. Okay, so we're asking. Why do we forget to ask? Okay, so we go into the space, we ask, and then we prepare to receive. Okay, now how this can look like, we're asking for something. Okay, we're asking for something, a new experience we want to create in our life. So like for me, lately, what this has looked like is I go in, right here, I seek first the kingdom of God, and there I am, and it feels so good. And then I ask for that perfect house. Because my family and I, we want to move up here to Yucaipa. So I'm like, oh yeah, the perfect house with all the things that we would like, right? The perfect house, oh yeah, and it feels really good. And I'm like, I know it can happen. I have faith, I know it can happen. And I'm like living right now in my 36th house. I mean, I got this moving thing down. So I'm like, I know it can happen. And then, I'm like, okay, wow. So there's my morning routine. I'm gonna do some stuff. I'm gonna read an email from realtor.com. Houses is a $350 house on a busy street and it only has one bathroom and it needs remodeling? What? I'm never gonna get a house. What did I just do there? What I did is I put my faith in two powers. And this can be pretty easy to do. Because when we get into this space, it feels like, yes, feels so good. Then we step into life. I was like, oh. Okay, so this is the importance of preparing the way. What happens is that we might notice that we're in resistance, okay, after we step out of that place. And what that could look like is, what was I thinking? How am I supposed to be able to make this work out? Maybe I should just, deal with being in this house a few more years, right? I don't know what to do. Maybe I need to set my sights lower. Then we get into this doubt, and we're no longer putting all of our faith in God, we're putting our faith in doubt. So I would like to offer this up to think on. If God is all things, everything that we see, everything that we can't see, God is the gift, not just the giver. Because everything is made from the substance of spirit, and the substance of spirit is in all things. It's in my house right now with another family who has found their dream house, and they're getting ready to move. And I will be made aware of that house as the house will be made aware of me, because everything is God. God is all. So God is not just the giver. God is also the gift. Every situation, every experience we desire, the divine direction that we receive telling us which way to go, okay? To open an email or not open an email, right? That is also God, because God is all things. So if we find ourselves in that space of resistance, right? What was I thinking? We want to do something called casting the burden. Do the next one, Kevin. Casting the burden. Jesus explained this in the book of Matthew. He said, "Come to me, all you who are weary and burdened, and I will give you rest. Take my yoke upon you and learn from me, for I am gentle and humble of heart, and you will find rest, for my yoke is easy and my burden is light." Now, what our burden is the burden of trying to figure things out on our own and our limited perception. That's our burden. Feeling, doubting about our abilities. That's our burden. Doubting our willingness to create an experience in our life. That is our burden. So when we're no longer in this space, we can move into a space of feeling burdened, not knowing what to do, right? And if we're out here and feeling the resistance, thinking, what was I thinking? We're not going to be open to those new ideas. Okay, our perception changes. It's going to seem like doors are getting slammed in our face. We're focused on lack. And we'll think back on this experience and think, man, was that just wishful thinking? And then we'll just give up. That is our burden. That is our burden. Staying in faith is up to us. Okay, that's all on us, staying in faith. Okay, right now, spirit is already in a state of consistently giving itself to us. What more can it do, right? Is it supposed to just control our minds like little robots? No, because we have free will. And this would not be a game of life if we were told what to do all the time. So instead, we're choosing what to do. We're choosing faith. So, take my yoke. What that means is to align ourselves with the Christ mind. WWJD, right? What would Jesus do? Okay, align ourselves with the Christ mind. Go back here. Go back here. When we find ourselves in doubt and resistance, go back. We have to start again at step number 1. Seek first the kingdom of God. Okay, seek first the kingdom of God, and now we can cast our burdens. And from this place, how that can look is, I don't know how I'll get my dream house. I only know that other people have gotten their dream house, and God is the giver and the gift, and so I am so happy and grateful. That's how we cast our burdens. I don't have to figure this out. If your car broke down, would you expect that you would have to do it all? Okay, yeah, of course you will, but my husband works on cars. But most of us, we don't know how to work on cars. And if our car broke down, we wouldn't be like, oh, I have to figure this out on my own. I have to do it, I have to do it, I have to do it. We wouldn't do that. And so why this new, unknown, big experience we want to create in our life, why do we think we have to do it all? Because there's that works within us, through us, for us, as us. There's that within that knows what to do, how to do it. And it compels us to act on what it knows. It wants to help us. It wants to participate. That's why we cast our burdens onto it. What we're saying is, I don't know how. I'll let Spirit lead the way. Okay? So now we can actually prepare the way. So first of all, we ask what it is that we want. We cast our burdens if we need to, and we probably do. Then we prepare the way. And what that can look like is acting as if this experience we want to create is already a done deal. Like for me, the experience I want to create is moving up here to Yucaipa. Now, I'm not living up here yet, but I have faith that I will be. I have faith that we will be. And so what that looks like in my house right now, preparing the way, as I'm going through a little part of my house at a time, and I'm thinking, what is it that I don't want to take when I move? And I just got to get rid of it now, right? 36 houses, right? I know what it's like to get to that new house and I have a box of stuff. I'm like, why didn't I just throw all this out? Why didn't I donate it? Dave knows, because he moves all my stuff that I don't want to keep, okay? So that's how we prepare the way. What if we want deeper relationships in our lives, right? We go into the space, we ask, okay, do we have to cast our burdens? Okay, maybe. I don't know how to get these deeper relationships in my life. I only know that Spirit guides me in all that I do. Spirit opens the way for new opportunities and new friendships to come into my life. And then you prepare the way. Start going to a book club. Come to a new church, right? Join a meetup group that has an interest that you like, gardening or bowling, right? Join a new group of people. Now, what's interesting is doing just these two things, okay? Casting the burden and preparing the way. That increases the divine activity in your life already, right there. The divine activity that is going to include your desired outcome in your life. That is what's being increased right now, even when you just do those little things. All right, then the third rule of life, it is we must be what we wish for. We must be what we wish for. You think about something you want to create in your life, whether it's health, wealth, deeper relationships, finding your purpose. We have to be that in consciousness first. Now, it might sound funny because we have to be our desired outcome first. Now, for me, I think about my new house that I want to have, right? Well, I can't be my house, but I can be the Deanna that's preparing for that house. I can be the Deanna that is so serious about that move that her closet is cleaned out totally. The linen closet, where we get like cramming extra towels in there, that's cleaned out. Things are donated. Okay, I can be that Deanna. What we're doing basically is we're looking at our desired experience that we want that's right here. What does that version of us do that's different than what we do right now? All right, so I injured my back last year, and it was kind of a crazy injury. Kept me in bed for a little while. And so I thought on that. What is that Deanna who has health and vitality, what is she doing differently than this Deanna? And I started acting as if I was that Deanna. Right? I started doing, what would that Deanna do? Well, she'd go to the chiropractor way more than she was, right? She'd get massaged. I eventually found out that this Deanna was giving up sugar and flour, which kind of made me mad. Like, what did she think she was doing? But like, I did it anyway because I knew that's what she would do, so I did it. That's how we become. That's how we become something that we're not actually that yet, right? We become it first, though, in our hearts. Now, we do this because we cannot force in the external something that we are not in the internal, right? I came up here the first Sunday that I spoke when I started here in January, and I announced to everybody, I'm off sugar, I'm off flour. Okay, the first few weeks, people wouldn't know if I was telling the truth or not. Okay, but after 3 months, people will know if I'm faking it, right? That's part of the reason I threw it out there. Like, I know how to lie to myself. I do. Somebody else here might know what I'm talking about. I don't know. So we can't, this idea of faking it till you make it, I don't really agree with that statement. I believe act as if. Because sometimes when we hear the term fake it till you make it, that sounds like pretend to be something you're not. But we're not pretending. We're integrating what this version of us does with what this version of us does. So we have to be able to really embody it, because if we're faking it, what's out here will start to crumble because it won't have a foundation. Okay? I'll share a story about my husband. I don't want to embarrass him, but my husband plays guitar. He plays guitar. But you know, you were like 15, right, when you decided to play guitar. He decided to play guitar because he heard a song, and it affected him. And he knew right there he was going to be a guitar player. He didn't even have a guitar yet. But he got in harmony with that vision. And then he saved up and he got a guitar. And then he did all the things that a guitar player would do. He practiced his guitar. He listened to different music. He learned a bunch of different songs. That's how we become. That is how we harmonize with something. We have to be in harmony. We have to be in harmony with it. So acting as if. Now, part of the process of acting as if is we're thinking about, like, what do we want to create in our lives? What's that new experience we want? But sometimes we have a big hurdle to get over. If we're dealing with something like emotional distress or a physical illness that we can, like, feel, and then, like, it's like, okay, how do I get into my acting as if when I feel so crummy, when life is so hard? How do I do that? And this is where the power of love comes in. The power of love. I have enjoyed talking about love for a very long time, many years. And often when I say, oh, I'm giving a talk on love, and I'll be like, oh, well, I'll come back when you talk about something exciting. The thing is that if we think that love is not that exciting, we do not understand what love is. That love is a universal, harmonizing power. It's not passive. It's not like a still stream. It is a cosmic wave whose force is irresistible. This is love. Okay, love is a quality of spirit, right? It perseveres. It perseveres. It continues all the time to give itself to you, through you, for you, as you, constantly, consistently, giving you this creative substance, whether you choose to use it or not. It never gives up on you. It loves for the sake of loving. It gives for the sake of giving. It creates through you, for you, as you, for the sake of creating. It is divine activity. This is what love is. This is what big love is. It's like big D, big L. This is big divine love. So it is magnetic, and it is a harmonizing force. Now this is really what we want. We want to become in harmony with this thing right here that we want to include in our life, that we want to experience. We need to be in harmony. Now Paul said in the book of Romans, "For the one who loves another has fulfilled the law. Love does not do evil to its neighbor because love is the fulfillment of the law." Now this verse has kind of bugged me for a long time because of the word law. It sounds like, well, what is the law? What are they talking about? What are they talking about? But see, what he's saying is that when we seek first the kingdom of God, we get into that place. What happens? Especially when we're feeling that big, yes, yes, yes. When we are feeling that big love, that's the big love right there, that big yes, yes, yes. We're automatically going to make choices that honor our divine nature. We're automatically going to make choices that honor other people. We're automatically going to make choices, even when we don't know what to do, we'll make little choices that are gradually bringing us into the experience we want to experience. When we put ourselves in the hands of love, we don't have to worry about all the other stuff. Love is above the law. Love has fulfilled the law. So we put our hands in love, and love takes care of us. We don't have to worry about the law. Love takes care of us. We will have clarity, right? Clarity is a really good thing. Love gives us clarity. So, because love is magnetic, because it is a universal harmonizing power, so it's working to harmonize everything in your life, when we seek first the kingdom of God, even if we are in pain, physical or emotional, even if we are struggling with a really difficult circumstance in our life, because we seek first the kingdom of God, we get that big yes, yes, yes feeling. That means right now, right here, we are in harmony with the things that match what that is that we want to experience in our life. So, right now, even if we're in physical pain, but if we can get here, that matches the harmony of other good things. So that will still be drawn to us. So we can still draw to us health and vitality, even if we can't imagine being healthful and full of vitality. This is the power of love. It simply helps us to imagine something else that is also good. Love is known for being patient, right? Love is kind. Love perseveres. Now, the patience of love, and I always think that this should be a new definition in the dictionary. Patience is not about sitting and waiting and looking at what we want and trying to not go crazy, and then that proves we're patient, right? I really believe patience is working to create one thing, giving it the time it needs, and so we focus on something else that takes our attention. I mean, if you wanted to plant an oak tree, like you would have like a precious long way to like sit there, right? That's a test of patience. So you plant your little acorn and you love on it and you think about it, and then you go do something else. You go do something else. And so, like I know for myself, even though I was in extreme physical pain when I hurt my back, I did the things I could do. I got the chiropractic, I got the massage. I started enjoying stretching. I was like, well, I may be in pain, but I can stretch, right? This is patience. I may be in pain, but I can read this book that's really good, that I've been wanting to get to, but I never have time to read, and now I have time to read. Okay, so that is how love is patient and kind, as it helps us even when we have trouble helping ourselves. Love perseveres, okay, through that thing that we have to overcome that's hard, right? We're thinking we have to overcome it, but God is bigger than anything in its way. Love is bigger than anything in its way. And so love is patient with us and perseveres, helping us to get to the realization we don't have to know the how about that. We seek first the kingdom of God. Then we ask for what it is that we want. While we're in this space, ask for whatever that big thing is that you want. Jesus said, anything you ask in prayer, which is right here, anything you ask in prayer, anything. He didn't say some things. He said anything you ask in prayer. Okay, so we ask for that big thing we want to create in our life. Maybe it's a little thing, that's okay too. But be right here and do it. Then we cast our burdens if we need to, right? I don't know how I'll get my dream home. I only know that God is the gift along with the giver. I don't know how I will experience health and vitality. I only know that divine love flows through me in unlimited measure. And the divine program that created me renews me and restores me. I don't know how I'll find my purpose. I only know that I listen and I act on divine guidance. I don't know how I will find my dream job. I only know that I am divinely guided in all that I do. I listen and I act. God is the source of my supply, and all that is mine by divine design comes to me now, easily, in the perfect way, under grace. I am fully equipped for the divine plan of my life, for I am a divine design. And the divine program operates in me in marvelous ways. Spirit opens the way. I am so happy and grateful. I am so happy and grateful. That's it. I am so happy and grateful. That's where we wind it up. So the rules to the game. We seek first the kingdom of God. We're seeking the divine within us. Okay, we ask for what we want. We prepare to receive. Preparing might include casting our burdens so that we can walk in faith. And then we act as if it's a done deal because it is the truth already in divine mind. We just start taking the steps so that it can be included in our life. And then we be in consciousness what it is we wish to become. And we do this by surrendering to the power of love. Because love is a harmonizing power. If you can get here, love will do all the rest of it. You know what? Even if you don't know what you want, even if you are just struggling, if you can get here, love will do the work. Love will open the doors. Love will clear the path. Love will guide you. It will make things possible for you. That is the power of love. That is the power of love. You just start here. That's all you have to do. Just start right here. That's easy enough, right? Just start here. So until next time, remember, you are the activity of spirit walking around in a body right here and right now. You are the heart and the hands of spirit in this world. You are a soul designed to do all this stuff. You are a soul designed for growth and goodness. That's what you were designed to do. And everything you do, you are blessed. And so it is. So it is.